Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Let's start today's story. A long time ago, in a kingdom far away, there lived a little girl named Almira. She had thick, wavy brown hair and bright, curious eyes. She loved nothing more than going on adventures with her loyal dog named Toby. One day, while playing near the river, they found a tiny baby bird that had fallen out of its nest. Almira carefully put the bird on the ground to let it dry off, and then went home to get some food for it. She fed the bird milk from a bottle until it grew up to be a beautiful white dove. The dove became Almira's best friend and followed her everywhere. It would sit on her shoulder as she brushed her hair or played with her dolls. The two were inseparable. One sunny afternoon, Almira and her dove were playing in the garden, when suddenly a strange man appeared in front of them. He had a long white beard and wore clothes made of leaves. Almira and the dove were frightened at first, but the old man smiled at them kindly and said, "Don't be afraid, little ones. I mean you no harm." He explained that he was a druid, a wise man who understood the language of animals, and he had come to take the dove back to its parents in the forest. Almira was sad to part with her friend, but she knew it would be best for the bird. Before saying goodbye, the druid gave Almira a small wooden whistle and told her it would help her understand the language of animals. Then he took the dove and disappeared into the trees. As soon as he was gone, Almira took out the whistle and blew it. Suddenly, all the birds in the garden began to talk to her. They told her that the druid was kind and gentle and that she should visit him in the forest if she ever needed help. Then they flew away, chirping happily. Just then, a beautiful woman appeared in front of Almira. She had flowing golden hair and wore a dress made of flowers. "Who are you?" asked Almira. The woman smiled and replied, "I am the spirit of the forest. You have been kind to the animals here, so I want to give you a gift." She waved her magic wand and a beautiful horse appeared beside her. "This horse is yours to ride whenever you wish," said the spirit. "It will take you anywhere you want to go." Almira thanked the spirit and climbed onto the horse. It was soft and fluffy like a cloud, and its mane and tail shimmered like spun gold. Almira spent many happy days riding through the forest with her new horse. She visited the druid and his animal friends often, and he taught her many things about the language of nature. But after a while, she began to feel a little bored. She wanted to have a real adventure. One day, the birds told Almira that there was a terrible monster living in the nearby mountains. It had sharp teeth and claws and was very dangerous. All the animals were afraid of it. Almira was not scared. She was brave and kind, and she wanted to help the animals by getting rid of the monster. So she decided to find it and see if she could do something to help. She rode her horse to the foothills of the mountain and tied it to a tree. Then she walked up the rocky path. With Toby by her side, she climbed higher and higher until she reached the top of the mountain. There, in a cave hidden among the rocks, she finally found the monster. It was a huge, ugly creature with green fur and horns on its head. It snarled at Almira, showing its sharp teeth. But instead of being scared, she felt sorry for the monster because it looked very lonely. "Why are you so mean?" she asked. The monster looked at her for a moment without saying anything. Then, in a deep, sad voice, it said, "I am mean because I am all alone. No one wants to be my friend." Almira sat down on a rock and said, "You don't have to be mean to be friends. I'm not scared of you." The monster was surprised. No one had ever tried to befriend it before. It had always been rejected or attacked. Almira started talking to the monster about her adventures in the forest. She told it about the kind druid and the playful animals and the beautiful flowers and plants. The monster listened quietly, and for the first time in its life, it felt a little less lonely. "Can I see the forest?" it asked. "I've never seen the forest before." Almira smiled and said, "Of course you can." She led the monster to the edge of the cave and pointed to the beautiful valley below. "There it is," she said. The monster looked out and gasped. It had never seen anything so pretty. It wanted to go down and explore it, but it was too scared. Its claws were too sharp. Its teeth were too long. It didn't want to hurt anything. "Will the animals be scared of me?" it asked. Almira thought for a moment. "Maybe at first," she said, "but if you're careful, they'll be okay. They might even become your friends." The monster was very excited. It wanted to make friends so badly. So it took a deep breath and stepped out of the cave. It was scary at first. The sunlight felt warm on its green fur. The birds sang sweetly in the trees, and the flowers smelled so fresh and beautiful. But the monster kept walking. It was determined to make friends. Almira and Toby stayed with the monster the whole day as it explored the forest. It was so much fun. They played with the other animals, and the monster even learned to fly with the birds. It was amazing. But as the sun began to set, the monster started to get scared again. It wanted to go back to its cave. "I'm too scared to stay here," it said. "I think I'd better go back." Almira put her hand on the monster's claw and said, "Don't be scared. You're not alone. I'm here." The monster looked at her and smiled for the first time. It felt safe with Almira. It knew it wasn't alone anymore. So they all went back to the cave together. The monster curled up in a corner and closed its eyes. It was tired from a day of playing and exploring. "Thank you for being my friend," it said softly. Almira smiled and said, "You're welcome. Come back any time." Then she turned and walked out of the cave. Toby followed her, and the birds flew down from the trees to say goodbye. The next morning, Almira woke up early and went back to the cave. She wanted to see her monster friend again. But when she got there, she saw that it was gone. In its place was a beautiful white lion. It looked at Almira and roared gently. "Who are you?" she asked. The lion smiled and said, "I am the monster. I used to be ugly and scary, but now I am beautiful and strong. Thank you for helping me." Then the lion did something amazing. It transformed itself into a handsome prince. He was tall and strong with golden hair and kind eyes. "Who are you?" asked Almira. The prince smiled and said, "I am the prince of these lands. I was cursed by an evil witch to live as a monster until someone befriended me. You broke the curse, Almira, and for that I am grateful." He took her hand and said, "I want to give you a gift." He led her to a beautiful castle at the top of the mountain and said, "This is your castle now. You can live here with me and Toby." Almira was so happy. She had never imagined that her adventure would end like this. She and the prince lived in the castle with Toby and the animals for many years. They had lots of adventures and made many friends. And they were happy. And this is our story for today. Please like and share it with your friends. Goodbye.